Hello, hello, it is I, Reaper, winner of the Most Creative Use of the Secondhand Sex Toy Award and part-time aviation and tank enthusiast here on this channel. Today, I finally, at long last, get to talk about planes. And if you've seen any of my other channels, you'll know that I am a very big fan of planes. Specifically, I want to react to several clips from the Chinese propaganda film Born to Fly. Now, quick disclaimer up front, I am not a pilot, I'm not a CFI, and I am not involved with the military. I'm just a 16-year-old kid who's ranting on the internet, so please do take what I say with a grain of salt. But I can still talk about this to some degree because I've done a little bit of research and I play DCS, so I sort of know the radio calls and the protocol if you are in fact under these sorts of situations. So if you're in the mood to hear a guy really just rant about his opinions on various films or just sometimes commenting on what's happening on screen, please stay and sit a while and let us begin. They're trying so hard to portray the Americans as the villains here. I mean, it is a propaganda film, so it is sort of justified, but they're trying very hard, and it is extremely noticeable. Okay, here, I in fact am Chinese, so I can sort of understand what the, that guy, I believe he's an ATC controller, what is actually saying. They use the word 恶意, I think is what he said, which is roughly translates to hostile. So in fact, they're saying like this is hostile behavior, must intercept and evict them from this airspace, I think is what he's going for here. Oh, this is kind of interesting. The F-35s that they're using, in fact, are the F-35C. So basically the Category carrier variant of the F-35, which I find really interesting. Personally, my favorite variant of the F-35 is the B model, which is the Marine and Royal Navy one, in which it has STOVL capabilities, short takeoff, vertical landing capabilities, so very similar to what the Harrier was. But all F-35s are cool. They're very good planes.
Let's see what we got here. Well done. This is China Air Force.
I mean, I'm not sure, like, this radio communication would be as simple as well done. I mean, if it's an operation completed, I'm assuming you could just say mission accomplished, RTB, or something like that.
You are now entering waters under China's jurisdiction. Change your course immediately, or you will be intercepted.
Okay, that's pretty accurate. Sort of kind of what the radio calls that you would make under that sort of situation. You'd sort of tell them, hey, you're entering waters under sovereign nation's jurisdiction. Although I think what would happen next is you would either tell them to turn away, or if you were to intercept them, you give them a course heading and ask them to follow you to the nearest military installation if it's a civilian craft. I think that's how it's supposed to work.
We can come and go whenever we want.
If you're in international waters, yes, you can come and go whenever you want. That is terrible CGI. First of all, your plane can't move like that. You can't just, nose over and then it just falls like a brick. If you're trying to do a positive G pushover in which you roll your aircraft and pull into a dive, you would go, in this case, I think it's right stick and then all the way back.
Oh my god!
It's that one scene out of Top Gun. They ripped it off so hard, but then again, that's what the Chinese do best, don't they?
Is he crazy?
You are locked.
Okay, very inaccurate here. So the computer that is calling out "you are locked," they wouldn't do that. What you would have is called the raw gear, or RWR. Basically, it gives you a series of beeps. So, for example, if there's an enemy threat, for example, the F-14, let's take it, would beep once, right? If there is, in fact, you are being locked, it would just do a series of beeps. And if there is a missile coming at you, it would do some very rapid and very noticeable beeping to tell you that there is, in fact, a missile coming your way. Now, the computer wouldn't actively say "you are locked" in a Chinese accent. It would just beep at you very angrily.
You are locked. You are locked.
Fox 2, come on, come on!
The pilot here calls Fox 2. Fox 2 is a missile call. If you're launching a short-range heat-seeking missile, such as a AIM-9 Sidewinder, you would say Fox 2. But here, it appears that he's dropping flares. So what you would usually call is to say call sign defending. For example, Gypsy 202 defending, or Gypsy 201 defensive, or something like that, right? Again, the raw gear wouldn't call failed to lock, or in this case, I think it's like 火计失败 or something like that, right? It wouldn't call that. It would just not lock on. So basically, you just see the, I'm not sure if it's called a pipper or if that's just for the gun, but you just see that big green dot basically fail to track that specific aircraft in that situation. It wouldn't actively tell you a failure to lock.
I got your back! One circle!
离跟踪，离跟踪，警告，敌手地。
I'm not exactly sure what he's trying to do by calling one circle here, because a one circle fight is a nose-to-nose fight. So basically, you've merged with another aircraft and you're pulling, and he's pulling into you, so that when you pass again, it's a nose-to-nose fight, right? A two circle is a nose-to-tail fight, so that's the classic more tail-chasing fight, right? Here it is clear that they're engaged, and I think is a two circle fight, right? Because one guy's chasing the other's tail. Again, a nose-to-tail fight. So not a one circle. So calling a one circle is very strange here. Does he want the other pilot to initiate a one circle by trying to force the overshoot? Or like, I don't know what he's trying to do here.
You are locked.
Again, the raw gear is so wrong in here. Like, it wouldn't actively tell you that like a failure to track or something like that. Like that wouldn't happen.
He wasn't locked down! Break left!
These are fourth generation fighters. No, they're not fourth generation. They're fifth generation. I don't think it's a translation issue either, because the pilot does say 四, which is the Chinese word for 4, which means they are saying that this is a fourth generation fighter. No, it isn't. The F-35 is a fifth generation fighter, and these are J-10s that they're flying. They are fourth generation, or 4.5 generation fighters, depending on who you ask.
没有怎么样。
No, the F-35C can't do that. It can't pull a maneuver or pull an AOA such as that. Now, the F-35A can do something very similar. The A is the Alpha or the Air Force variant. It can do something, a maneuver that is very similar to this one. But no, the F-35C, I don't think it can pull the AOA or necessarily have the G rating to be able to pull a maneuver such as this. They are very close to each other. Now, usually if you're in a training situation, you wouldn't merge this close. You'd want to maintain a minimum separation of something like, I don't know, like, off the top of my head, I want to say 250, 300 meters. But in a real dogfight situation, yeah, maybe they get this close. What the hell is that? What are those vapor trails? They look so shitty. Like, what the fuck, man? And also, like, what is this maneuver that he's trying to pull here? You can't do that in an F-35C. Also, if you pay closer attention, the elevators or horizontal stabilizers look to be deflected downward, which would do the exact opposite, right? Because let's say you roll your aircraft sideways and you deflect your elevators downward. The aircraft would want to push in or turn left in this case and not right. So CGI guys on CGI really got things wrong here.
警告，敌手地，警告，敌手地，警告，敌手地，警告。
Oh my god. It's another ripoff scene. They're ripping off Ace Combat 7's First Contact cutscene here. They just cannot stop copying. Like, at this point, it's just goddamn shameless. The F-35 pilot is trying to do here just by hitting the vertical. If you're climbing into the sun, that'd be a good thing, because if you're using sidewinders, you'll want to the sidewinders might try to lock onto the sun instead of you. But pulling into the vertical here, I wouldn't do that. I would most likely try to jink, maybe try and force the overshoot, maybe something like that. I don't know, like, what that is. Is that a compressor stall? Maybe there wasn't enough air going into the engine. Maybe he was at too high an alpha. I don't know. It appears to be something like a compressor stall. If you're in a stall, your plane wouldn't fall like that. I don't know necessarily with the aerodynamics of something like a Delta Wing, like what that thing's stall characteristics were. I know that with forward swept wing aircraft like the X-29 and the Su-47, the wing area somehow helps in which that it won't go into a spin if it stalls. But usually if an aircraft stalls, like you should be in a flat spin right now.
I'll
be back.
Do I even need to say anything? They're trying so desperately to paint the Americans as just the cartoon villain here, and it's not really helping. Also, in the course of this film, they tried to do something in which they set the Americans up as these big bad guys and just have them be really easily beaten. It doesn't work for either storytelling or for, I guess, forwarding your government propaganda either. It's a lose-lose situation.
雷子，稳住杆儿。我带你回去。
发动机停车，发动机停车，发动机失火，
发动机失火。
发动机失火。
动摇。
I don't think that they'd necessarily be displaying an engine failure thing on like what appears to be a radar screen. Maybe they do, but I don't think that is what happens here. Well, that's certainly enough internet cringe for one day. If you like this video, maybe hit a like. Or if you want to, maybe do subscribe. It really helps me out. But anyway, that's where I will bid you farewell. And who knows, next time I might talk about tanks. But for now, I'll see you in the next video.